Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Through the Keyhole. Today we are taking a look at 4 more camps submitted by you guys, members of the community, and taking a look at some of the awesome things that you're doing. So, let's jump in and take a look, shall we? So, before we get started, usual disclaimers. Of course, these are not going to be my camps. These are camps that have been sent in by members of the community to take a look at, and I'm very, very much looking forward to that. If you folks would like to appear in a subsequent episode of this series, then you can head over to the channel's community page. There you will find a post that will give you all the details on how to send your builds in, and I look forward to seeing what you've got for a future episode. So, let's jump in and take a look at the first camp, shall we? Okay, so our first build comes from CatJoeK5, who has not shared any details of the system they're playing on, but I'm guessing from the pictures here that it's possibly console of one description or another, and this looks to be photos of a screen taken on a mobile rather than using the actual screenshots, but it works nonetheless. We have a very, very cool build down here in the mire. It's definitely one of my favourite things about this particular series, being able to showcase builds on systems other than PC, which is what I'm usually limited to, but very nice to be able to see some other work as well. So, see, we're in the mire here. We've got a very, very cool little balcony here. Nice place to hang out. Have a nice bit of lighting from the oil lamps there. And you just about see here, we can see in a little more detail in a moment, that we've got some interesting angles going on with this one, which is really, really cool to see. You've done a very, very nice job of this. So, good use of the trees as well. Looking nice. Let's have a look at the next one. So, moving inside, we've got a nice little fireplace. I've combined a couple of bits and pieces here that's quite cool. We've got the red fireplace, which is an atomic shop item that appears from time to time. Got that tucked in the doorway with a wall over the top there with a little bit of wallpaper on it, which is an interesting approach. Certainly creates kind of stand-in for a fireplace if you haven't got one of the other ones available. Looks pretty good. It's a good approach to thinking outside of the box. I like that. Works well with the brick textures as well, as that kind of creates a nicer looking fireplace than, say, the wood might, and obviously has slightly less risk of fire. And we've got a nice little bar in the corner as well, which is cool. Plenty of space in here. A few little bits of decoration. I do like those high-tech lamps over the bar. Nice and straight line there, looking very, very neat and tidy. Nice little bit of illumination. Looking very, very cool. So, from the other angle, we've got a really nice little area here. A couple of lights hanging down, some icicle lights giving a nice little splash of neon blue. Good use of the red rocket stuff here. Great nice little sort of restaurant area. It's supposed to be a restaurant build, this one. And we've got a couple of little bits of decoration. Plants looking good there. I do like this sort of open balcony edge here that sort of shows the wildlife and the flora, I suppose, from the mire, which is nice. Making use of the environment that you're building in is always good. It makes the build feel more like it belongs. Nice little piano tucked in the corner there as well. A little music while you're enjoying your dinner. Another angle on the bar, we've got another fireplace on this side. This looks to be using a different one. This is actually the one from the Christmas pack that, again, occasionally reappears, but we've got 2 of them stacked up. I'm guessing we're going with an oven-type vibe here. Sort of a pizza oven kind of deal. That's a really cool idea, actually. So I quite like that. Might have to borrow that one. Sort of glanced at this earlier, didn't quite realise what that implied, so quite impressed now that I actually look back at it. Very, very cool. You can see at the back there that the wall is sort of curving around. We've got some slightly angled walls on about a 20-degree angle rather than a 45 or anything like that. The usual 90. So nice little bit of work there. It looks very, very even, very, very neat, which is cool. Managed to get the roofs, I guess, ceilings to clip through very nicely there and plug the gaps quite nicely. It looks really good. It looks like it belongs, which is impressive and quite difficult to do in some ways, given that the game doesn't really want you to position walls like that. So very, very cool to see as well. And a tight little corridor here with a staircase in it. A couple of bits and pieces making use of the space available. Always good to see. The back of the Nuka-Cola hidden door there. Always very good. I think we've got somebody's feet coming down the stairs there as well. Always cool. So, onto the little crafting space. You're going to have one of these in your camp. Looking reasonably open. I might have liked to see maybe a little bit more decoration there. Maybe a few extra stash boxes, something like that, just to make the place seem a little bit more full and lived in. But nonetheless, plenty of access for your power arm and stuff like that, which can be a bit of an issue in smaller spaces, so there's definitely a bonus. Plenty of light around. Looking very, very cool. Commander Deguara making good use of the furniture there as well. Looking cool. And onto the dining area, which I think we've moved upstairs here, judging by the floor in the bottom left there. We've got something that I've seen a few people doing recently, which is sort of the modern approach here in the centre, with leaving a gap where that wall would otherwise be and using some posts to create a kind of modern frontage there, which looks really, really cool. And again, we've got the angles showing up on the sort of balcony patio area outside there as well, which looks really, really cool. Plenty of nice little bits of decoration here, giving it that kind of classical vibe. So looking really cool. Nice use of the statues. I often find it difficult to find somewhere to put those statues that don't look like they're kind of out of place, but they seem to have pulled it off quite nicely here. It looks like it belongs, which is a really, really cool job. And the wallpaper there with the bricks, kind of a little different colour to the regular textures, but they do fit quite nicely and continue the vibe. It gives it a little bit of kind of an accent wall, which is always nice. I do definitely like to see that sort of thing. Flipping around to the outside, we see this balcony from the other side. And I was trying to figure out for a while here exactly how they managed to get the floor to look like it's not clipping through the wall, but it actually is. The perspective is a tiny bit odd here. It's Fallout in a nutshell for you. But that floor is obviously below the level of the top of the wall here, so you can see it clipping through at the bottom, which is one of the drawbacks there to trying to go beyond what the game is designed to do with the angled floors and angled walls rather there. But they have pulled it off quite nicely here. I don't know. Maybe find some, if it gets with decoration or something like that, you can kind of conceal the fact that it's not meant to be there, the bit sticking through the wall. But yeah, I definitely like how they pulled this off. It looks like it belongs. It's very, very cool and very, very creative design. So definitely some good work there. A little high angle on a sitting room area using the Grognak rug, which is a definite favourite of mine over the parquet flooring. It's definitely one of the best, cleaner looks. I managed to get the bookcases to clip through the curtains there, which I'm guessing they've rug glitched in here. Is probably about the only way you can do it, because the collision on those curtains is a little large on occasion, but they're definitely a good addition from the Atomic Shop there. Looking very, very cool. Nice, cosy, homely little space to hang out in. And a little bit of thinking outside of the box here with the decontamination shower as well, using it as an actual shower and using the curtains as a shower curtain. Very, very cool. Looking very, very nice. And a shot from the other angle onto the bed as well, which is, again, using the curtains to close off the window there, and you see the nice curve on the walls, which makes it look a little bit more organic than we're often able to do, so looking very, very good. Nice, plenty of furniture. How on earth does that clock get stuck there? That's a pretty impressive bit of positioning. Managed to get it that low. That looks really cool. A nice contrast between the floor and the walls as well. I like that a lot. And it works well with the bed as well, with light flooring. I often struggle a bit with it, just for my personal taste, but it kind of blends with the lighter wood on the Vault-Tec bed, which is one of the few that actually has any covers on it. So good bit of work there, nice choice. I like that very, very much. So all in all, very, very cool little build in the mire. So camp number 2 comes from Rakerwolf, who has appeared in a previous episode of this series. Submitted a very, very cool build and has sent something else in for us today that is actually just down the road from Vault 76, so just down the hill here, by the little tower that's right by the path, just on your first journey into Appalachia as you emerge from the vault. So as I play on PC, my camp is right near Vault 76. I like to sell cheap plans, ammo and chems to low-level players that maybe need a kickstart. I also really like using structures that are already there to try and make my house look less player-built and more natural, which I've got to say I like doing as well. We have a very, very cool build that sort of expands on the basic tower here. You can sort of see that in towards the right here, and definitely echoes the same sort of structure on the left as well, which is very, very cool. Definitely a cool, eye-catching build. It looks like it does belong here. It looks like an extension of the existing structure, so very nicely done there. A little different angle on it here. You get a nice look at the whole structure. As I say, it blends together quite nicely. I did have a little concern about whether or not you could get inside the lower level of the existing structure, but I think you can there. There's enough room to get in underneath. Got the decontamination arch tucked underneath there. Tight squeeze, but needs to be accessible, so I'm sure it is. Very, very cool. Plenty of Vault-Tec generators tucked in there, so they don't make too much noise. They stack quite nicely, those things, as well, so you can fit them in reasonably small places. So, pretty good addition, that. Well worth keeping an eye out for in the Atomic Shop. We've got Commander Deguare tucked in under the existing tower there. So, as I say, you can see from here that you can get in. Nice little use of the oil lamp there, just to make sure you got that nice, warming, natural-looking light. It doesn't look too clinical and white like the a lot of the electric ones do. Got the workbench tucked in there. I'm not sure if that's an existing one. I don't think it is, but definitely fits in quite nicely down there. Little mattress underneath as well. That one I think is there when you just stumble on the location. Looking up the stairs, a few extra bits of decoration on the stairs there as well, just to get the build to blend in a little more with the rest of the additions. Looking very good. Nice little Free State flag on the right as well. Very cool. I feel like the satellite dish on the top as well. Probably doesn't really go there, but it just adds to the whole scrappiness of the thing. The grabbing anything you can, dragging it back to your camp vibe, which is very, very cool. It certainly works with that in-world believable style of building, and yeah, fits very nicely. Nice little lookout point from the top. Somebody chilling out, reading something. I'm guessing this is a settler, because I don't remember that animation was being available to a player. Put a little area out to chill out front. Tuck the foundation in as well, looking nice. Definitely awkward to place that fire pit sometimes. It's quite large and requires some very flat ground, otherwise it ends up looking like it's floating on one side or the other. So dropping the foundation in there is definitely a good idea. I think it works well. It's a nice little spot for those low-level players to get themselves a little bit of a rested bonus to their XP as well, which is always cool. Heading on inside, we've got something looking a lot cleaner and more homely inside, which is nice. Got the Doomsday Clock on the right there, looking very, very cool. Plenty of decoration, do like the pictures. It's an added bonus for sort of something aimed at new players to stumble across. It gives you an idea of what you can work towards as well, which is cool. Some interesting bits and pieces in the display cabinets there as well. I'm not sure what that thing on the left is. One of the chickens, I think. The chicken items you can find knocking around on occasion, but definitely looks cool. A couple of robots in there as well, robot models. I always end up scrapping those. I mean to hang on to them, but they end up disappearing into a scrap, which is unfortunate. Definitely got to keep an eye out for those. Nice little look down towards the living room. Some comfy chairs there, and the kitchen in the background. Very, very nice. Got a few bits and pieces pulled away from the wall as well, which I always like to see. Definitely avoids that excess of open space and just makes the place look a little bit more believable and lived in, which is very, very cool. Nice little work with the angled roofs and stuff as well. The change in elevation does make the thing look a bit more organic and a little more pleasing to the eye, which is very, very cool. I like this a lot. Nice little chill out there, close up on the little living room, sitting room area. A mixture of sort of hunters decorations and sort of cleaner stuff from the White Springs as well, which is really cool. It's very, very nice. Blends well with the wallpaper. Same thing in the bedroom. I normally struggle with big, bright colours like this sort of yellow wallpaper, but this, coupled with the lighting and the darker colours of the beds and stuff, actually works really, really nicely. Breaking up the blank surface of it as well with the posters on the wall. It's really, really cool. Plushies on the bed there. Absolute must. Looking very cool. Mothman light that I must pick up at some point if I haven't already. I don't think I've used it, so very, very cool. Do like the look of that as well. Looks very homemade and very, very cool. Little look onto the kitchen there, which is nice. Getting small space here, so you've got to tuck stuff out towards the sides in order to basically be able to move around a bit. It does create a nice kind of finished look. Everything seems to blend together quite nicely there from this angle, which is really, really cool. Got the fluorescent light on there, which can sometimes be a bit too much, but it's not spilling out too far in this case, so that looks good as well. Really like the look of that. Nice little contrast with the tiles as well to indicate that kitchen look. Very cool. Got the brewing station in as well, using that as a sink, which is good. And presumably a brewing station as well. So definitely got all the necessary crafting bits and pieces in there. Got the little crafting cooking station in the corner as well. Imagine that's a bit awkward to get to, tucked in the corner there, but it does look very good nonetheless. Just going around the corner here from the kitchen, you can see it extends along the back there with a few more bits and pieces for crafting. We've got the chemistry bench there, we've got the armour and weapons benches tucked further towards the back. I like the use of the turret there as a bit of decoration as well. It creates we struggle a bit with workshop decoration sometimes, and something very mechanical like that fits in quite well. That's a good idea, that. I like that a lot. Nice little accent wall down at the end as well. A little power armor station out on a mini balcony there at the back as well. Again, using the doorway there to make sure you've got enough room to get in and out of it, which is cool. Definitely using the space well there, and a couple of little bits of extra decoration as well. A oil lamp as well, looking cool. We've got the trading shack, which is using the CD shed just out the front there on the sort of downside of the hill. Makes it very, very visible, especially with all the signs out there and neon lights and stuff. Looking good. Could help those new players just leaving the vault find what they need. I wouldn't have much in the way of caps, so hopefully it is some affordable essentials on sale in there, but that was what Raker was going for, so very, very cool. Definitely looks welcoming and attractive to those new players. Hopefully the turret doesn't put them off any. Another angle there, a little close up. Difficult to get pictures inside this little structure as the shed is very, very small, but you definitely get the impression from peeking through the door there, which is cool. Little bathroom on the corner, nice, looking complete, very, very cool. So yeah, really nice organic looking structure, really, really cool. Looks like it belongs and expands on the existing building really, really nicely. Doesn't look like it's too player built, doesn't look like it uses too much space either. Anything too big would kind of overwhelm the original structure. So really nice balance bit struck here. Really like this one. Good work from Raker here. Build number 3 comes from saucybread. Has an absolutely awesome name there, and is playing on the Xbox. So very, very cool. Getting to share some console builds again. Very, very nice little train station build here. This is my take on a train station build using the Slocum's Joe train car. It's inspired by a 1930s vibe of the train car and tried to stick true to the time by using older looking elements in the build, like items from the White Springs, warm lights scattered around the station through the use of candles and lanterns to help in keeping with the old-timey theme they're trying to achieve. The station itself sort of stuck in time with old suitcases lying about. Certainly fits the description of the other train stations in the game that Bethesda have built. They're definitely frozen in the moment the old world ended. Time is starting to wear on the station with worn walls and furniture. It's only a matter of time until nature claims its territory. So, very, very cool. Definitely in keeping with the post-apocalyptic vibe and the vibe of Appalachia as a whole, which is really, really cool and really nice job done here. Nice use of the train car on the left there. We can see that's sitting quite nicely on the train tracks. Unfortunately, the concrete base kind of a bit awkward there, but it does allow placement in a lot more places than just on train tracks, which is very, very cool. It does look very, very good. We've got the platform out the front there that sits quite nicely flush with the edge of the train car, which is always good. It can be a little battle sometimes to get those to sit closely enough together and look neat and tidy, but this is very, very nicely done. All the essentials out there, a little place to hang out. Definitely keeps the vibe of the existing stations. It looks like a sort of backcountry train station, which I really like. I'm thinking this is in the Savage Divide, looking at the edges of the picture here. So definitely in keeping with its location. Very, very cool. So reverse angle here as the sun's starting to come down a little bit, so looking nice. A bit higher up here, but still got the access that you need, looking very nice. Blending into nature there, as we said before, with the trees just kind of encroaching on the building a little bit, looking very nice. Definitely fits into the location, as I say, gives that country station vibe. Heading on inside, you can see the rough walls with no wallpaper on them, the nature beginning to reclaim vibe, and obviously the clipping through of the grass coming through the floor there works with that as well. Little vendors in the back, tucked out the way there, very nice. The rough church pews there, obviously looking like they're aging, which is quite nice. It works well with the aging vibe of the thing. And a couple of other bits and pieces as well. The old lights being turned into candle holders, but definitely keeps that sort of organic, falling apart, no longer has power vibe, which is very, very cool. Big train station clock there, looking nice. Good use of the curtains there to make the place look a little bit more complete. They're very, very good for that. A few bits and pieces tucked around as well that look really nice, and the plants and the little concrete busts there looking very good. Reverse angle here, so you can see towards the door. Nice bit of decoration, a few extra bits and pieces scattered around. You can see the suitcases there and the stash boxes, just giving it that little abandoned look, which is really, really cool. Back out onto the platform, a little bit more of a close-up here. We've got the newsstand there, which is certainly in keeping with the vibe of people passing through, as well as a nice little look at the benches there. Nice place to hang out while you're waiting for your train to arrive. Imagine it's going to be quite a long wait. But nice look at the door here. Heading on through that door, we have a really cool job of the decoration done in here, and I really admire the patience this must have taken. We've got stacked up bookshelves here, which are nice. It takes a while to get those lined up properly, which is really good. Nice bit of patience there, and adding the decorations and the items on the shelves is, again, it requires a little bit of glitching, which is very doable, but very time consuming. That's why I tend to avoid doing it on my builds, because I tend to tear them down so often that it's not really conducive to the amount of time it takes. But with the patience there, it looks really complete, really, really cool. And it divides the space in half quite nicely as well, which is really good. And you've got just enough room to get through the middle there as well, so very, very nice using the curtains there. And all leads towards the power armor station, so kind of nice leading lines on this, to use a bit of a photography term. A little bedroom down at the front here, on the entrance area. Got a few more White Springs paintings here, looking very, very cool. A few more bits and pieces dragged in from the train station just to round out the design a little bit. Obviously, other bits and pieces tucked into the train car to make it that bit more homely. Cooking station on the other side as well, somewhere to chill out. Looking very nice, very successful player camp vibe going on here. Definitely keep the elements at bay when you need to shelter. Very, very cool. I think that painting on the wall as well is good. It fills up the space really well as well. A little bit of splash of colour to go with the red cooking station there with the little plants on the top as well. The succulents looking good. Nice use of that tiny little table. I find those hard to find a place for sometimes, but really good job of that done there. It blends in quite nicely. Kind of almost notice it as an afterthought, which is a testament to how well it fits. From the other angle, we can see the back of the bookcases there and the curtains hanging down. We've got the decontamination arch in there. Unfortunately, you can't sink it into the floor with these prefabs, but it kind of blends in nicely, tucked out of sight a little bit by the bookcases as well. So certainly from the front angle, it looks more like it belongs in there. From the back, we're getting a bit more industrial with the crafting stations and the like. Not a lot of room to get between those when you put those in, so good use of the space tucking those back as far as possible. Makes it a little cozier. Looking good. Very, very technical looking side from here with all the pipes and the wires and stuff. It looks quite cool. So, all in all, really nicely decorated build. It really keeps that train station vibe. As I say, that I'm really liking that country train station vibe. Looks very, very cool. And everything you need, all the essentials, but looks like it's been abandoned for some time as well. So, really neat job there done by saucybread. Okay, so last but not least, our build number 4 comes from Loston, who is on PC. This has been my permanent camp since early 2019. Built on a cliff just a few steps north of the monorail tower junk pit near Foundation. My intent was to make a reclaimed pre-war house. I'd say it's been pulled off quite nicely. For example, I like to imagine the original porch and rear deck were damaged and rotting beyond repair, and the character rebuilt them and expanded the latter, using wood reclaimed from the nearby area like Huntersville, metal girders from the pile next to the aforementioned monorail tower. Thanks to the proximity to Big Bend East, the character has been working in relationship with the Blue Ridge Caravan Company, giving allies of the faction a safe place to rest when travelling to or from Foundation, hence the flag and ally being decked out in Blue Ridge Caravan gear. Nice idea, I like it. Good little headcanon going on there. Being every year old now, camp has changed and evolved as time moves on, much like the character. It's true, it does feel like a home every time I play. Walking through the front door after completing an event or request gives me the same feeling in real life when I come home from work. It's a small build, but maybe not an impressive one. Definitely small, but I would say it's pretty impressive. I'm liking the look of this so far. But I'm proud of it and can't see myself ever replacing it. Yeah, talking about how it's evolved over time, obviously the walls and such have been changed from the original one. Loston has been here since 2019, because the contemporary pieces are considerably newer than that. But that works with the sort of repairing, refurbishing the place vibe as well. So very, very cool. They've done a nice build here. It's definitely in keeping with the sort of things we see in the media, at least, as regards sort of Midwest-style homes, I'm thinking. At least that's the impression I get as a Brit looking in from the outside, but it definitely keeps that vibe that we do see around, so very, very cool. Some really nice stuff here. I bet the view out the back is fantastic, given the location. A nice little position here, tucked between two boulders and sort of rises in the ground, which is cool. Very much fits and looks like it belongs, and it's built into the location nicely, so very, very cool. Got the vendors out front, looking nice, decorated and eye-catching. Got a little stash box in between with a bin there that actually looks like it belongs as well. Very cool. I really like the little post box on the front there, mailbox, which is something I believe we're going to get some variations of in future or very soon. So something to look forward to there. But in the meantime, using the chem cooler and I think that's one of the little metal posts to support it is a good stand-in. I like that a lot. It's definitely a nice, clean-looking, complete front edge with a nice little bit of decoration and definitely a homely, welcoming retreat from the wasteland. Very, very cool. So looking closely at the vendors here, we've got just the essentials. Only 2 of them here. That's all you need if you're not selling absolute piles of stuff. So definitely looks good having only 2 of them rather than having sort of all 4, which might be a little over the top and overwhelming to the build. Definitely fits in with the overall look of the place, which is really, really nice. Moving on inside, we have a living room, which is looking cozy and comfortable here. Curtains making the place looking very, very homely. Nice little bits and pieces on display showing the questing and the experiences of the character throughout the wasteland and the progression through the story, which is really nice. Then we've got some more stuff on the shelves here, which is really cool to see in the bottom left there. Very, very good work, very patient work done there. So definitely admiring that. Like the little Wendigo Colossus plushie on the sofa as well. Adds that little splash more detail. Very, very cool. Pretty clean and homely, which is nice. Definitely serves well as an escape from the wasteland, but looks very, very complete and well cared for, which is cool. Somebody's clearly put a lot of time and work into that. Somebody obviously being Loston, but, you know, the wastelander. Nice close-up on the little display cases here, Fashionac masks and a few other bits and pieces. I like that little lighthouse in the display case there. I suppose it's a little model, really, but very, very cool. Definitely gives a little detail and harks back to some of the activities the character's been engaged in, which is really, really cool. I like to see things like that. The display cases, presumably the weapon racks there, are behind the Thanksgiving display case there, so you can actually have the weapons on the back, which is a nice combination of effects. It's really, really good. Managed to clip a light into it as well, which is good as well. Doesn't look like you can't really see the fact it's clipped through either, which is nice. And at the same time, you can actually see the weapons, and it casts a bit of light down the display case, which is a really good combination. Nice bit of work there. It's a good idea. I like it a lot. Swinging around to the reverse angle, we can peek through to the kitchen as well as see the crafting area under the stairs. Good use of the space there on the right. You often find space under the stairs can be a little awkward to work with, and often ends up being a bit of dead space, so it's a nice use of that there, but putting crafting stations in. Very, very cool. Definitely a homely, welcoming feel. Getting out the kitchen. We've got a nice little separated area here. We've got a little dining area, a couple of crafting benches and displays, and then the sort of breakfast bar, I suppose that's intended to be there, made out of the bookcases, giving it a nice homely feel. I'm impressed by the floating bedside cabinets for some wall cupboards. It's definitely something we need a better functional setup on, but I don't know how you've done that one, but very, very cool nonetheless. The stacked ones on the right, in fact, those are clipping through each other as well. Some impressive work done there. It looks very, very neat and tidy, which is impressive. Like, getting those things to sit so closely to each other is difficult. So, very, very neat job here. Very complete looking kitchen. It's very cool. Using the stylized lino floor as well makes for that kitchen vibe very nicely as well. Got one of my favourite tables tucked in the bottom here as well. So, very, very nice. Heading over to the bathroom. I all too often forget to put in right next to the kitchen here. So, got all the essentials in here. Combination of the sink being clipped into the little end table, I suppose it is there, and the mirror behind it gives it a nice complete look. A little too clean contrasting with the toilet there, but before too long we'll have a nice clean toilet available, which will be coming with Steel Dawn, so be able to swap that out, get a nice fully clean and completed look, which is really cool. And again, the ever-evolving vibe of the camp, which is cool. Nice little bathroom. Looks like it's got a very high ceiling here, which is probably just deceptive from the camera angle, but definitely creates that clean, moppable, clean and cool look of a bathroom. So very, very nice. Heading upstairs, a nice little view on the landing here. Again, suffering the same thing that drives me a little bit batty with the fact that you can't swap out the floor textures on that staircase. But I do like that they've managed to get the railings on the side of the staircase. Another example of something I'm not sure how you do, but would definitely like to know how. Because that gives it a little more complete vibe and makes it look that little bit more homely. Goes quite well with the wooden wallpaper as well, which I've just picked up myself actually. It's come back to the Atomic Shop, that particular wallpaper, so if you've been on the lookout for it, grab it while you can. Very, very nice little spot, like it a lot. And into the bedroom. All the essentials, nice Vault-Tec bed there. A few little bits and pieces of decoration around, just give it that little bit more of a lived-in look. A little rug on the floor, give it a nice splash of colour and break up the texture of the floor so that would otherwise be a little overbearing, which is cool. Same thing on the walls with the curtains, which actually match the wallpaper, which is cool. And the paintings breaking it up a little bit as well. Very, very nice. The writing desk there and the piano go together quite nicely, which is cool. And definitely got like having a little terminal on the desk there as well to fit that in quite nicely. You can kind of see it clipped through below there actually a little bit if you peer under the desk. But nice job there with that. Looks really, really good. Impressive job of glitching stuff together here, which must have taken a lot of patience, but I suppose if you've been here since 2019, then you've had the time, so very, very cool. Little reverse angle as well, so let's see back towards the door, a couple of dressers, some more display cases, looking good, filling out the place, and a little ensuite as well, very nice. Gone for a few rugs there to cover up the, unfortunately, exposed wired floor, which doesn't make for the best look inside a bathroom, but what can you do? We've got to work with the tools that are available, so it's a good solution to a problem there. Really nice job on this one. Heading out back to the balcony. I expanded it upstairs and down as well, which comes as a little surprise. Wasn't expecting that. That's really cool. Looks very, very nice. Plenty of supports there, so nothing floating. Nice little railings around as well, so you can peek out the back. Grill out there. Good place to tuck the power armor station as well. Got a good bit of space so it doesn't get overbearing. Something can be a little large at times, as well as a few more crafting stations tucked out the back. Definitely works as a wastelander's very practical home that they've refurbished. Like this one a lot. Very, very cool. So, sadly you haven't got a view out the back, because I'd imagine that view from the cliff top is very, very cool, but all in all, definitely a nice, complete looking home, very, very clean, very nice build. Looks like it belongs in Appalachia, looks like a pre-war home, so a very, very nice job done there by Loston. So, 4 very, very cool player camps, some very, very nice jobs, some blending into the environment, some looking like they're Bethesda built, some looking very more homely, very nice mix. Very impressed with what everybody's achieved this week, so thank you very much to everybody who sent the camps in. As I said before, if you do want to send your camps in, head over to the channel's community page. There's a post there with all the details on how you can go about doing that. Very much look forward to seeing what the rest of you have. Massive thanks to everybody who has sent in camps so far. I've still got a few more on the in the collection ready for a future episode, so keep an eye out for those over the coming weeks and months. Very much looking forward to that. I do try and spread these out a little bit more so we haven't got them all bunched together and I don't burn through them too quickly, and it keeps a little bit of variety in there, makes it feel a little bit more special when we get to them. So plenty more to come. If you've submitted your camp and it's yet to appear, do watch this space. For now, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you found this interesting. Got a few cool ideas and a little bit of inspiration, and there's some really cool stuff I'm going to be borrowing here and there as well, so looking forward to that. Social media links down below if you want to catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook. Merch store's down in the description, and channel membership is also available below the channel as well if you're interested in supporting us in that way. It's very, very much helpful and very, very much appreciated. A massive thanks to everybody who's already done that. And if you get a chance, do join us for some of the live streams as well. Playing Fallout 76, a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is tricking on quite nicely now, getting very, very exciting. And we're playing Prey as well, which has been an entertaining, if somewhat terrifying experience. So I do hope you join us for those if you get the chance. Now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.